And impacting somebody's life is not a science. And I keep telling people who are teachers, you actually have the greatest impact even than pastors. Kwanza teachers who are in boarding schools. You have these kids locked in that school 3 months on end. So once we were done with the class 7, I went to Menengai High School.
Okay, and where is that?
In Nakuru, right in town.
Day school or boarding?
Day school. Okay, and so it was a national school then. Okay. And it was day school.
Mixed?
And mixed. Okay. But now there was peace.
Restored to difference.
Oh, I'm telling you, now I don't even remember anybody in the school being caned. It was a semi-private but upmarket school, and that brought a lot of peace. Okay. For me, just the knowing nobody is bothering you, just read. And when I joined Form 1, I have several of my mom's siblings and my dad's siblings, of course, were always in our lives. But and I tell them, one of my favorite uncle, his name is Bram. He now lives in Canada. Bram wrote to me. He was then in university, and he was such a role model because I thought he was the first. He and my auntie were the first people in our family to go to the uni. Oh, okay. And University of Nairobi. So my grandparents told me, you see, we expect you as I'm the first grandchild. So okay. They told me we are praying you'll also go to the uni. So now I had a goal. And my uncle wrote to me a letter just to say congratulations, again, those days of snail mail. And then he told me when he was in Form 1, he read 50 novels. And I decided I'm breaking that record. So I used to read a lot. Sidney Sheldon's. Mills and Boons. But those days, they were clean books. Okay. So I remember Mills and Boons was like 150, 153 pages. Yeah. They'd kiss like 154. That's why I love you and a kiss. Not in manenos we see nowadays. So I'd read. Yeah. You sounded like you're a responsible child. I don't know, even before I became a believer, somehow I was not into hanging and all. Yeah. My brother did go once. Yes. He went out once to he went once clubbing. And strangely, I don't know, my dad used to love watching movies. And those days we didn't have you couldn't watch movies at home. You went to the cinema spaces.
This before, those
VCD came, that came up, around that time. Yeah. But then it was nice to be on big screens. Okay. No, I can put a projector and my whole wall becomes a screen. So I remember, I don't know why. My dad had come from watching a movie. Then he sees all these lights and he says he just thought, I wonder what young people do. So he went in to just check out, not to do anything. Somehow in my brother's thing, he just chanced to look. You know, those things that God just like a freak moment. Yes. He looked up and my dad never saw him. But my brother saw him.
And he was like, I'm done.
But my brother was home before my dad came home. And my brother was done. So somehow we were never told don't go clubbing or anything. But I don't know, for me, it was never a thing. I enjoyed music. Even now, when I'm tired, when I'm stressed, I go to my kitchen, full blast music, and then I cook. And I cook. And after that, even if you want a pay rise, I'll give you. So I loved music. I always had music in my room, all through, even now. My car, sometimes when I stop, people are like, that music is loud. That's my space. So I loved music, and I'll do a lot of things on my own. I was not into sports. Growing up, I used to have my grandmother said, ati baridi entered my chest. I got cold when I was little. So I'd run, and then I'd always have some chest infections or coughs and colds. So I was not sporty, even though my school was big on basketball. We were national champs for many years. So I'd be there spectating, doing things. But I loved so the only thing I played was badminton. And I was very good at that. But I had good friends. From Form 1, life just settled. I got 4 good friends, good friends. 2 are still in my life to date.
Wow.
And that's why I was telling you, that's when I thought, I think we are a bit poor. So I come into Form 1, and my desk mate that had been assigned to me, her dad was top brass army. So she had a driver.
Oh.
Yes, assigned to her for school drops. The mom had a driver, official cars. Of course, the dad had his own driver. There was a guy who just did clothes, dad's clothes. So when you went to their home, you'd think there's a party. Then tell me, no, that's my mom's civilian car. That is her official car. That's my dad's civil. It's the first time in my life I went into a room and there was a walk-in wardrobe. And an ensuite room in those days.
Yes.
I'm like, what?
In your friend's room?
Yes. She's still my good friend to date, and her parents became like my parents later. But I liked it that my mom had this principle. If you have a good friend, I want to know them. You can go to their house once, twice, but not 3 times before they have to come to our house.
She would tell you that?
Oh, yeah. So we knew that. Why is it you're always going into people's houses? What are you ashamed of, or why don't you want to bring them? So we always knew, you can go, but your friends must also come.
Yeah.
So my first sleepover was at my friend's place. And my mom said, even she needs to come. So I need to get to know her mom. So somehow friendship moved from us to our parents.
Nice. And
our moms became good friends. And so just watch, that's the first time I saw fork and knife being used there. We always laugh with my friends. We got there, and I think it was even ugali or something. And I'm sitting there, I'm wondering, us guys were used to, you wash your hands.
Get ready.
And then when we were younger, the mountain would come to the table. So you start from left, right. We meet in the center. Then we realized, we told our parents, our partner, there are some older, our uncles, they are faster than us. We're going to stop. So cut pieces, everybody handles. So the African way I knew how to. Yes. And then, of course, you eat rice with a spoon. So now I'm seeing ugali and a fork and knife. But my dear friends were very good at it. So she looked, I think she realized situation demands SOS help. So she said, I need to wash my hands. Actually, it's long. So she started, basically covered me. And then later, now she told me, okay, now let's use fork and knife. This is how you hold it. This is how you hold it. So I had good friends. I really had good friends.
Oh, you were in day school?
Yes, I was in day school.
I get it.
And every school ended at 4:10 every day. But every day I had to read a novel.
Wow. So did you fall in love with reading?
I loved reading. Then, thank God, from 1 up till 4, my English teacher, remember I talked about her, Mrs. Mahene, in primary?
Yeah.
I met her son, and he was our English teacher.
Oh.
Form 1 was quiet, very okay. When I got to Form 2, there's a cademon. I believe there's a cademon assigned to Form 2. Even now, in any school, check, something begins to change, and if you don't get it right, people flip.
Oh.
So I think this teacher, Mr. Mahene, noticed I was changing my friends. And the group I was now moving to, he could tell this is not going to lead me in a good direction. He tells me he doesn't remember. But he called me to the staff room in front of many teachers and told me, I know your father. He works at Barclays. These 3 friends you had in Form 1 are going places and will take you places. This group you have now joined, rowdy, talking back, this group will not take you anywhere.
What?
He told me, next time I see you with this group, I'm taking you to your dad's office. He doesn't remember. But he told me, you, I'm watching you. And somehow he was my teacher till Form 4.
That is
I
crazy.
moved.
So hold on. So first and foremost, you've met him later on to tell him this story.
Oh yeah, he knows. I've told him. I try. In fact, I've just been saying I need to look for people who had great influence in my life, just to thank them, because people don't know.
You see this camera there? That is your camera to tell them thank you. They are watching.
Yes, Mr. Mahine, you know, and I've told you this. Thank you for redirecting my life. I was going left to a place of doom, and actually it's true. Those girls who were in this group actually never even made it to college. So 1 or 2 dropped out, but my 3 friends, when the final exams came, I think 3 of us were the top girls in the school.
What?
Yeah, and they're friends still to date. And then the other big thing, remember my uncle had given me a challenge of reading 50 novels. Mr. Mahane himself would tell us read. So we'd have a triple class English sometimes, or double class in the afternoons. He'd tell us, no, don't worry, bring a novel. So he'd bring any novel, but he'd make sure it is a clean novel. Then he'd tell you, go anywhere outside. I just want people to read. Just enjoy yourself and read. And that is class time. Then he'd sometimes bring in a painting or something, he'd bring in even these grapes or a glass of water, put it there and say, I just want you to look at it and write me a story. Wow. Write me a story. And this is English. Just express yourself. What is it you're seeing in the glass? Tell us a story. So that was very good for me. I was not into sciences, but I was in the science class. But very early on, I realized I don't know if it is I was not a scientist, or it's that, remember the primary mentality of not exerting myself?
Yep.
So of course with physics, maths, chemistry, bio, I was just average.
And have you decided in life at this time, this is what I'm pursuing?
No, not yet.
You don't have
all I just want to do is to get into uni. I was not even ambitious at that time up till Form 4. It's when I went to Form 5, I made it to Form 5 again. Okay,
so at that time, the system, I'm always cognizant that people may not understand the system.
Oh, okay.
So it was till class
7 years of primary school. Then you had 4 years of high school. And then you had another 2 years of senior high school.
Or A-levels.
A-levels.
Yeah.
So O-levels from 1 to 4, A-levels from 5 and 6, and then now you went to, there's like a season where the people who went to NYS, National Youth Service, but we were required to go to National Youth Service after college, after high school, before you got into uni.
How did you do in this? Actually, is there any other story you want to speak about in this from 1 to Form 4? What that stood out is your reading and your teacher.
Yes. And just, I think I was just a normal high schooler, and I can't say it was me. There was just a safety net that God put around. Maybe it's the friends I was with. They were also not very extreme in their character. And then this teacher. And I think that's why it's very important. Mentoring is not a science. And impacting somebody's life is not a science. And I keep telling people who are teachers, you actually have the greatest impact even than pastors. Kwanza teachers who are in boarding schools. You have these kids locked in that school 3 months on end. And
for
if
4
you
years.
decide, for 4 years. You can imagine if a teacher just decided, I'm working with 5 girls or 10 kids every year, and just giving 1 hour, it's amazing impact. So for me, I always feel without, if Mr. Mahene's impact in my life, and it was that one talking to, but of course he'd always check my work, and he'd tell me you can write better, you can do better. And so we got to Form 4, finished that.
And did you do well?
Yes, I did well, but now I dropped all my sciences. I always believe I had that attitude of it, let me just be in the middle. If I had exerted myself, maybe I would have done well. So I went back to A-levels, back to Menengai High School. Then second term into Form 5, I remember there's NYS coming. And from what my friends had said, it was rough, military. So I had not been in boarding school, and we were told it's rough. So I just told my parents, I think I need to go to a boarding school, and I don't want a boarding school in town. Get me one where people carry water in buckets, because I don't want to go. And we used to be told in NYS, when they find out you are a cup of tea, they will make you cry every day.
And this was compulsory?
It was compulsory. So I in between, on my 5th form, I moved schools. My mom told me, I'll go to the government education officer. Whatever school I'm given is where you're going, because I'm not doing this. So she goes in and she got Kapsabet girls.
What?
I didn't even know where it was, but me, I knew it's
body.
A country, it's body, it's more like NYS. Let me prepare.
Wait, take a break. Let's take a break right there. When we come back with this story, we continue from Kapsabet.
Sawa.
Sasa.